Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here for another one of our episodes of favourite projects from 2022. And I thought one of my favourite projects was actually the project that I did way back at the beginning, where we made the little faux brooches. So we were trying to emulate, this is one of those kind of, you know, enamel kind of brooches, and we were trying to emulate those by making them with these flowers, and then we were coating with the glossy accents. So if you did not see my tutorial, oops, just pull in an extra flower here. Oops, hold on a second, sorry about this. Right, okay, so what you would need is you're going to need a variety of little flowers. Now, I used, on the whole, the little rolled roses, the little mulberry flowers, so the paper mulberry flowers. Now, I've had mine for a really long time. You could get them on a website called Wild Orchid Crafts. You can also get them on eBay. I couldn't tell you, I'm afraid, whether they're maybe like 1 centimetre or 0.5 centimetres. Basically, you're looking for the tiny ones. They're going to be the ones that you're going to want to be using, not the massive ones. So, you know, the smaller the better for your little flowers. And then what I also did was I bought a bunch of these. Now, I have to say, these actually were quite big, but these are, now were these called resin flowers? I think these were called resin flowers. And again, I managed to get them from eBay. Now, as you can probably see, some are bigger than others, oops, and some are brighter than others. So they were hit and miss, to be honest. And I did struggle to find any really, because, you know, you're looking for something very, very tiny and they're pretty tricky to actually come by. But, you know, they are on there. And I think I searched for, you know, maybe even like Fimo, you know, that stuff, Fimo, the, you know, the heat in the oven clay stuff, maybe even those as your flowers. But you can sort of get them, and they tend to come in maybe like 10 or something like that, packs of 10. So I think I bought 2 or 3 packs. This was obviously way back last year when I kind of first made these. So obviously that's why I can't really fully remember, you know, what they were, you know, how I came across them. But that's what you're going to need. And then what you're going to need is some sort of just card base. Now, I'm just going to use this, you know, again, you don't have to be kind of too fussed about what you're using. You just want to use something that you can cut into a little round circle as your base piece for your flowers to all stick on. So, like that. Now, I think I glued mine down with hot glue. Again, I haven't now made these for a long time, and I should have really watched the video before coming on to actually make another video. But hey, we're just going to try and suck it and see. I will try and remember to link the original video to this as well, so that if you didn't see the original, hopefully you could go back and see, you know, and who knows, I maybe made them slightly differently in the first round. And, you know, maybe that was then the more successful one. Who knows? So just going to cut my 4 circles down. Now, again, this is where I've kind of probably overestimated the size of my circles, because actually, by the time you start sticking your flowers on, your circle really is looking to be pretty tiny. I mean, I'll get one of the ones that we've already made out in a moment and we'll just kind of compare. But you basically are going to be, you know, squishing your flowers up close together. So the circle itself is actually going to be pretty tiny. So like that. I mean, as you can see, my circle is, you know, is fractionally too big, or fractionally bigger than this one at least. So if I just put that one there, I just cut this circle down just very slightly, because obviously your flowers, you know, they can overhang the circle. But what you don't want is your circle overhanging the flowers, if that makes sense. You know, you definitely want your flowers overhanging the circle, not the other way round. So like that. And Yep, just cut them all down a bit. So I mean, you could use your circle punch for this, you know, maybe a, I don't know whether a 1 inch circle would be too small, but you know, maybe a 1.5 inch circle or something. Again, you know, just kind of suck it and see, and kind of, you know, just do what you think. And you know, once you've made 1 or 2, you will gauge better, you know, how big your circle needs to be. Obviously, I have not made these for a whole year, so you know, I'm pretty rusty at kind of guesstimating my circle size. So there we go, like that. Oops. Oh, my eyes are so sore. I feel like they're really straining. I was on my laptop quite a bit yesterday, and oh, my eyes are very sore now. Okay, so then what you're going to be doing is just putting your flowers around. Now, I have to say, originally I had these little ones, these pink ones, which were like a resin kind of flower, or a, you know, fimo type flower. Now, I bought them years ago from a weird little sort of fabric shop. They were like 50p for a whole big bag. And the funniest thing was, I did not know what to do with them. So I'd had them for years, didn't know what to do with them. And I think I ended up giving them to the school. Then I obviously came up with this idea, and I had like 10 left. Wish now I'd not given them to the school, because actually they were the perfect size. They were very small, but they're effectively these, but they were smaller and a better colour. But, you know, that's how it is. But I don't know whether, you know, they may be a mass-produced thing, and maybe you could get those. I certainly couldn't find them when I looked, unfortunately. So I'm just going to put a couple of these little flowers on. Now, and again, this is that fimo stuff. I've not tried colouring this. So whether or not you could actually colour these, I don't know. You know, I don't know whether they would take a, you know, I don't know, maybe a distress ink, or I don't know, maybe a paint or something, or maybe a patina would be quite good. Quite a good way to kind of coat them and cover them. I don't know. But, you know, if you have got anything like that, you could maybe kind of colour them then. And then you'd, you know, get the kind of colours that you want. As I say, I mean, I haven't tried doing that, so I don't know. But, yeah, definitely worth a try. So, I'm just going to get gluing mine down. Now, I'm going to just go in and start gluing. I hope I don't regret this and kind of end up thinking, oh, gosh, I wish I hadn't started gluing them. But the other thing is, you know, you could always pick these off, you know, because they're not kind of set in stone. And the finishing stage is obviously the glossy accents, which comes right at the end. So, you know, there's no reason why you couldn't, you know, if you wanted to rearrange these and pick them off, you probably could. Yeah, I think you probably could. So, you know, just kind of go with the flow and see what you think. Now, again, these little rolled roses, some are better than others, some are better sizes than others, and things like that. So I seem to have a mixture of different size ones. These ones here are a little bit bigger, and I suspect actually a bit too big for this project. So I'm going to kind of go with what I've got here for the moment. And then, you know, we might kind of make 1 or 2 with the slightly bigger ones. So we'll just go with these ones first. Whoops, like that. Okay, like that. Okay, probably time for another one of these pink bright ones. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if you could kind of put some colour on this. I mean, like I say, maybe even with patina, maybe that would be kind of the best way to get the colour to really go on and stay on. Because that patina is pretty good and seems to go on to everything. Oops, doesn't it? So, you know, that might be quite a good one to use to colour your flowers. If, you know, if you've got flowers that aren't quite the right colour and you're wanting to get a different colour on them, maybe patina would be the thing to use. Now, I'm just wondering whether I want to have one of those brightish blue ones. Oh yeah, it's quite pretty, doesn't it? So actually, I'm going to just go for this rosebud because maybe this one's slightly bigger. So like I say, these are the smaller rolled roses. And again, these satin rosebuds, you know, I mean, you can buy these on eBay. You can buy them on, I mean, you can probably get them on Amazon. I don't know. I haven't really looked. But yeah, I'm sure that you can probably get them on Amazon, to be honest. You can get them in lots of places. So you can get them in the range. I don't know where else I've seen them, but, you know, probably Hobbycraft, you know, lots and lots of different places. So yeah, I'm sure you can get them in, you know, all sorts of places. Just wondering, no, that's the wrong colour. So, yep, not that one. Let's just see. So, I mean, again, these look like they're sort of a little bit fiddly. They're not really fiddly, to be honest. I think they look more fiddly than they actually are. Once you get making them, they're actually pretty easy and come together pretty quickly. So they're just kind of more, they're a case of sorting out the right flowers to be using. But once you've got your flowers, I think they're pretty quick to make. Now what you could do is, if you've got lots of cards showing, you could maybe get some scissors and trim that around. Personally, I'm probably not very good at doing that, but you know, if you did have lots of cards showing, I'm sure you could probably go in and trim it slightly. I mean, touch wood, my card's not really showing too much, so I don't feel I've got kind of a lot to cut off, but just trimming slightly there, I've just got rid of just a little bit of excess, which is just, you know, just slightly better, like that. So, and it doesn't matter what it looks like underneath because no one's going to see that. This is going to be glued on to like a cover or something. So that's the first one. I'm just going to put that to one side and we'll do another one. So I'll just put that one to one side. Okay, so let's do another one. And, you know, I mean, you can make these absolutely gorgeous, you know, just really go to town and, you know, just use all sorts of colours and, yeah, yummy colours and things. So now perhaps we'll go in with one of our bigger rolled roses this time. Because like I say, the roses come in different sizes. So let's just try. I mean, this is quite big, it's got to be said, but it hopefully won't look too rubbish. So yeah, let's just cut that off. Now again, with the rolled roses, I have sometimes just pulled the, you know, that green leaf type effect off, which you can do, but sometimes it can cause your rolled rose to unravel. So it's just worth kind of like, you know, erring on the side of caution and kind of thinking, oh, you know, I could end up pulling that off. So you just want to be a little bit careful when you're kind of pulling, because you could end up pulling that, you know, clean off really. So yeah, let's just take a couple of these. Okay. So, oops. Going to put this one down here. Oh my goodness, I've got hot glue threads everywhere here. So now I'm thinking, well, maybe I used wet glue when I made these previously. I'm not sure, because obviously if you used wet glue, you're going to have a little bit more kind of wiggle room. So when you're kind of then, you know, trying to get your pieces in the right place, it's just going to give you time to move your bits around, where obviously with the hot glue, you know, it's dried instantly and you've got no chance to change your mind. Now I'm just going to snip this down here because this is one of those tiny little rolled roses and I feel like that would definitely, you know, have had cards showing. So just take that down there. Okay, like that. Okie dokie. Right. Okay. And then just going to go in with another couple of these mulberry roses. So maybe one here. So, you know, and you can squish them in to like really pack them in tight like that. Okay. That's just going to kind of like hold it together you know, quite well. Now, just wondering in here, do I go for a rolled rose or do I go for a thingy-me-bob? You know, a purple one or a blue one. So, yeah, let's just go for that blue one. So, again, going to just snip that off. Okay, and just then tuck that in there. Oh, I'm wondering, actually, perhaps I should move that round. I might be able to just get one more flower tucked into here. Oops. So some of these you can then pull off like this. It's got those leaves. I was able to just pull them clean off, and then I can just tuck that into there. So, you know, because if these are made from that fimo type stuff, you know, it's all just kind of glued together. So they can kind of be, you know, again, pulled apart a little bit. So like that. Okay, so just put that to one side. Okay, let's do another one. So they're really pretty, aren't they? And, you know, they just look gorgeous once they're made. The other thing that I did use actually on the other one, which I haven't used on this, is I had also some of those little acrylic flowers, which I'm just wondering if they, oh look, they are behind my desk. Oh, I found those other ones, which I said I threw away, which, oh, they're actually in here, look. Oh, thank goodness I looked behind my desk, because, yeah, they're brilliant. I think I must have thrown away. I had some other ones which were a bluey purpley colour, so I obviously threw those away, but yeah. Right, okay, well that was good, wasn't it, to actually glance behind my desk, you know. Shame I didn't do it before I started the video, but never mind. Right, so yeah, let's take, I think, maybe one of these red roses. So again, this is one of those rolled roses, just going to cut those off. You know, so you can see, I mean, I've still got a tiny little bit on there, but that's fine, because when you hot glue that down, you know, that's going to just be hidden. And, you know, it's just better than obviously pulling it off and finding your rose unravel. And like I say, I mean, I have pulled them off and it not unravelled, but equally I have pulled it off and it has unravelled, if you see what I mean. So, you know, just something to be aware of is, you know, it may cause it to unravel. So, like that, okay. I mean, you really can do some gorgeous colour combinations, can't you, on these? They're really pretty. And I've used these on a few covers now. They look very, very pretty. I don't know whether this is like way too, you know, too many colours. And then I perhaps wouldn't want to use it. So I need to be a little bit careful of, you know, just how many colours I use, because yeah, it may get to the point where it's like, oh, well, actually I'd struggle to use that in a journal now because it's so, you know, so multicoloured. But okay, let's just try the pink. I absolutely love how the red looks in these. It looks really, really pretty. So yeah, let's just put this one down here. Okay, like that, and then just pop this one down here. Oh, I'm so kicking myself that I didn't look behind my desk in the first place. I mean, honestly. And I was even sat talking about it, saying how I'd thrown them away. Obviously, I've thrown the other ones away, the bluey kind of purpley ones. So, yeah. Oh. And honestly, I have. Well, I assume I have, unless I've lost them, you know, in the move and things like that. I don't know. You know, like with all these things. Who knows what goes on in the craft room? You know, sometimes you can find things and sometimes you can't. Okie dokie. Oops, that one is not squishing in how it was originally. So yeah, it was squishing in really well. And then it's obviously moved slightly. It's now not squishing in quite so well as it was. But Okay. Like that. Okay. And like I say, I mean, don't worry about how messy and rubbish the underneath looks, because, you know, this is going to be glued down onto a project anyway. So, you know, like there, oops, I've obviously got a lot of glue thread mess now underneath, but it doesn't matter, because once this is glued down, that's not going to be visible or noticeable anyway. So it's all fine. Okay. Let's just have that there. And what about a little blue one maybe here? Okay. Yeah, I think I love the addition of the red on these, and oops. And what happens is, if you did not see my first video, you know, where we made these first of all, when you put the glossy accents on, you know, and honestly, this does happen, because, I mean, I just thought, really, you know, is that going to happen? But it honestly did. It transforms your pieces into what looks like a little brooch. All of your pieces, whether they're the satin pieces, the acrylic pieces, you know, the paper pieces, they will all take on an appearance of like china, you know. So yeah, just however they've started, they're going to look a sort of china effect by, you know, by the time that they are glossy accented. So, you know, hopefully you will absolutely love how these, you know, how these turn out once they're glossy accented. I mean, they look quite pretty anyway, but it's a bit like all of these things where you may feel kind of nervous to glossy accent them, because you'll think, oh, you know, it looks quite pretty now, I don't want to spoil it. But honestly and truthfully, you know, your piece will look amazing once it's glossy accented. It will come to life, and it will then look, you know, like a piece of kind of china. So yeah, don't be kind of you know, worried about messing it up. And I do get that you may feel that way, because, you know, I felt that way and thought, oh, I don't want to spoil it, you know, it looks really pretty as it is. But honestly, it's I've just got these little roses as well. I think these ones I did get from the range, so these are without the, you know, without those little stems anyway. So yeah, I felt kind of nervous when I did it, and, you know, didn't want to spoil my pieces as I'd made them. But honestly, it, you know, it's the bit that transforms them, you know, it's the thing that takes them to the next stage. So yeah, instead of being kind of nervous, you know, go for it, and you will end up with these gorgeous little pieces that are then, you know, look like they are made from porcelain. So yeah, don't be worried about ruining them. You will just love the finished effect. Right, just get out a couple of these. Okay. So maybe like that, and then I'm thinking another red one. So maybe even one of those rolled roses. So yeah, let's put this in. So, you know, you're really packing them in tightly. You know, and again, don't feel nervous, because once they're glossy accented, it again is going to hold them on. So obviously these are all, you know, they're all glued on anyway. They're pretty well fixed. But if you're kind of thinking, oh gosh, you know, they're a bit squashed in, are they going to stay on? Don't forget, you're going over these with the glossy accents, which, you know, in effect, that's another glue anyway. So, you know, they're going to be held on very, very well, you know, by the end. They're going to be, you know, well fixed into place. So, okie dokie. That one. And then this one here. Okay. Like that. I mean, that one is a bit misshapen and lopsided now. But again, you can just manipulate that a bit, because, you know, it's only on kind of like a little bit of cardboard. So, you know, oops, you can spread it about a bit. I mean, that one I kind of tore a little bit, but yeah, like that. Okay, so that's your little brooch piece. Okay, then now this is the kind of magic stage, and obviously I'm not going to be, you know, able to show you quite what these look like instantly, because they're obviously going to take, you know, quite a long time to dry. So I'm just going to put this down here. This is just, you know, some prints that I was doing, so that we can glossy accents these. Now, with your glossy accent, you're going to want to be quite generous with your glossy accent. So you're going to take your piece and put a big glob onto there. Then you're going to want to take a brush or your finger, you know, one or the other is fine, and then spread this all over all of your flowers. So you want to cover really well the entire thing. Okay, so like that. Let's turn it around, so that every single part of this is then really well covered with the glossy accents. Okay, so spread it around with your brush or with your finger like that, and you know, maybe with your brush and your finger like that. Okay, and this is where it will, as if by magic, turn into your kind of porcelain brooch. So again, all over. So I might even just use my finger, because actually I think that works pretty well anyway. Okie doke. So all over all of it. I mean, I'm probably going a little bit fast now and kind of rushing this, but oops, probably should be tucked in. I can't now seem to tuck that in. I probably could do with a pin and kind of stick it in, but yeah, anyway, like that. Okay, like that. And this one, okay. Honestly, and these are so nice to have on hand, and they just look fantastic on a cover, on a topper, you know, that kind of thing. They're really lovely, aren't they? And, you know, I mean, actually, they're pretty quick. I mean, I'm just looking at the time. Oh, I can't really see properly, but I don't know whether it's 22 minutes or 27 minutes. 22 sounds very quick, but yeah, anyway, I mean, they're pretty quick and easy to make, aren't they? So, you know, again, you could just sit and just knock up a whole bunch of these, and then you've got them there ready to use. And I just love nothing better than having, you know, ready-made things ready to put in. So these are just absolutely awesome, you know, to have ready-made. So yeah, all over there like that. Okay, like that. Okie dokie. Okay, so, and it's, you know, it's pretty thick, that glossy accents, you know, I've put it on quite thick, quite generously. So, I mean, that's going to take quite a long time to dry. So, I mean, again, you know, kind of allow it a bit of time, be patient. You know, don't expect it to be kind of dry anytime soon. You know, give it kind of a good few hours, because it's inside like little tiny gaps and things like that in the flowers. So, you know, you really do want to kind of, you know, give it a good amount of time. But basically then what you're going to end up with is these pieces here, which, you know, they really do look like they're porcelain, don't they? You know, this, obviously, these are the paper flowers. That one there is a rolled rose, you know, a satin one. This here, the purple one and that blue, they're both satin roses. That one's one of the, you know, like fimo type ones. That one's a rolled rose, and these are paper ones. So, you know, you can really see all of the roses all go like porcelain, you know, whether they're the fabric or, you know, the satin, like the rolled roses, or whether they're the paper, they all take on that same glossy, you know, glossy kind of china type look. So they're just really nice, aren't they? So yeah, I really hope that you like them. They obviously were my project for the first of the year on the 2022. But I just thought we would revisit them because I just really, really love them. And yeah, I just think there's sort of something really nice to actually have for your journals. So I hope that you like them and have fun if you make some, if you haven't made them before. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks then. Bye.